I'm going to try to do both blot today.
Wow.
Yudam, hang on. One second. This is Dr. Agatstein. Okay, so we're talking about a double-decker sukkah on top of on the other. And we said there's an example where the bottom is kosher and the top is puzzle. Hechidami. Where the bottom sukkah has more shade than sun, which is what a sukkah needs to have. But the Elyona had too sparse, the upper sukkah had too sparse of schach, therefore chamsa meruba mitzilsa, and its sun was greater than the shade, so the upper one was puzzle. And the Kamet Tarvar b'soch chesrim, and both were within 20 amas. Sometimes the top one is kosher, the bottom one is puzzle. Hechidami, kagon, the Tavayut Silsim Ruba Mechamsa. Both have more shade. The Kaima Elyona B'toch Esrim. And the bottom one is puzzle because it's a sukkah underneath a sukkah, which we said is not good. But the upper one is good because it's got more shade. So the Gemara says Pshita. So the Gemara says it's not pashut because tachtonik shev elyona psula tzrichalei. The chiddush is that the bottom one is kosher because ma'od same a nigzer dilma mitzraf schach posel body schach kosher. Because maybe we should make a gzeira that the schach posel of the upper sukkah combined with the schach kosher of the lower sukkah will puzzle it to teach me that it's not mitzaref and it doesn't puzzle. Now, kama yeh bein sukkah l'sukkah te'tachtona psula. So we said a bottom floor sukkah in general is puzzle. How much space between the sukkah to make it puzzle? Amravuna tefach. Shkematzinu boli tumas tefach. That when you have a tumah that's trying to escape, if there's a space of a tefach, it prevents it from escaping. The Tanya. Tefach al tefach barum tefach mevis atuma. A tefach cubed volume will keep tumah in place, v'choitzes b'fnei tumah, and prevent tumah from going up. Pachos merum tefach. If it was less than that, lo meviv lo chotzitz. Then it would not stay and would not serve as a chatzitz. But Rav Chizra, arba, you need a space of 4 tefachs between the sukkah. Shlomatzinu makom chashuv pachos marba. The minimum space that's considered a space has to be at least 4 tefachim. Ushmul amar asara. Shmuel says it's got to be 10 tefach. My time in Shmuel kechsher kach psula. Just like a kosher sukkah has to be 10 tefach. Ma echsher basara psula basara. If there are no inhabitants in the upper sukkah, the bottom one is kosher. Now, my ein diyur. What do we mean? There's no one dwelling there. I mean, are you talking about real people? It's not whether there are people there or not. It's whether the structure fits the requirement. And I love my ein diyur and kosher and ru'ui l'dira. What it means. It's not fit for a dira. For example, a sukkah that's not 10 tefachim high, which you can't dwell in it. That means an upper sukkah will puzzle a lower sukkah, even if the upper sukkah is not roy ladira, according to Tanakh. If you can't place the pillows and the blankets of the Elyona, if it doesn't fit in the lower sukkah, tachtona ksheva, then the tachtona is okay. Means even if it was not makabel, the potential of these items, it would be possible. It could be nafkamina might be you can force them in. It's not easy to put them in, but one holds that it would work, one holds that it would not work. Mishnah. Paris ales sadim ibn achamo. Your sukkah's hot. You put a sheet over the schach because you want to reduce the sun. Or tachtem ibn nesher. Or you put it below because you want to catch falling leaves. Or shapir salgabi akinif. Or you have like a canopy, 4-posted bed, and you place like a canopy over your bed. In all cases, psula. Aval peretz gabi naklite amita. But if, let's say, it's only a 2-poster, and you hang the sheet like a teepee, right, without a roof, but like a triangle, we'll say that that's kosher. If you place the sheet below the schach because of the leaves that are falling down, then it would be a problem. But if you put a sheet for decoration, it would be okay. The Mishnah clearly says if you place it because of the falling leaves. I might think that perhaps it would be possible even if you do it for decoration. Because that's the normal reason why people do that. That no, makes a difference if it's for decoration, it'll be okay. Lema Messiah, Sicha Kilchasa. You have the schach normal, the itra bekromin uvstinin matzuyorim, and you hung painted sheets. The talabah goes in. You hung raisins, almonds, shkedin, parsimon, persimmons, rimonim, pomegranates, parchili anovim, bunches of grapes, fatar shel shiboilim, stalks of wheat, yenos, shmanim, usaltas, wine, oils, flowers. Osirly stop it. You're not allowed to use those items. Ad matzah yontav achron shulchat until Sukkot is over because they're muktzah. No. But if you made it tonight to use them, you could use them. You see that you can hang these sadinim for noi. So Gemara says that's not a proof. Perhaps it's not hanging underneath the schach, it's hanging like on the walls. Itmar. Noi sukkah in matin b'sukkah. When you're measuring the height of a sukkah, the fact that you're hanging decorations from the schach, it's not considered part of the structure of the sukkah, and therefore you don't have to count it as minimizing the space that the sukkah needs. Ravashi. However, things that are on the wall, if you're measuring, it's got to be 7 tvachim of airspace, and you put something thick against the wall that's 2 tvachim, and it minimizes, so that it's only 5 tvachim, that it would make the sukkah not kosher. Minyamin Abdid Ravashi itamisha le ketonta b'maya. He took one, I guess his shirt got wet. He wanted to dry out his shirt on the sukkah. Ishtacha metalta. And he laid it on top of the sukkah to dry it out. Ravashi Dalia, remove it. A shirt is a thing that's makabel tumma. One of the criteria for schach, it's got to be something that's not makabel tumma. And if people see you do this, they'll think you can use schach of items that are makabel tumma. You said but people will not make the mistake because they see that it was wet, and they'll know why I put it there. So Ravashi said, yeah, while it's wet, you can leave it there. Once it's dry, you've got to remove it. Itmar noi sukkah muflagim mimena arba. you have decorations that are more than 4 tfachim away from the schach, is that considered like a chatzitza between you and the schach? Rav Nachman Amar Ksheva. So even if something is hanging more than 4 tfachim down, it's still okay. Rav Chizr Rabbi Ravuna Amri Psula. And that's the halacha. We got to be careful that you don't hang things that drop more than 4 tfachim. Rav Chizr Rabbi Ravuna Ikla Be Reish Galusa. Rav Chizr went to the house of the Reish Galusa. Agdina Rav Nachman Besukkah Shenoyin Muflogin Mimen Arba Tfachim. Rav Nachman went to sleep in a sukkah where the schach was more than 4 tfachim, against the halacha that we paskin like. They didn't say anything to him. Amrulei Hadu Rabbanim Ishmaitse. Is the reason you didn't say anything to them because Chachamim changed their mind? Amrulei Anon Shluchei Mitzvah. We didn't have, no, the reason we were quiet, we are Shluchei Mitzvah. We're like Mishulachim. We've been sent to collect money. And a Shaliach Mitzvah is Potem in a Sukkah because he's on his Shlichus. A kila is a canopy over a chassan's bed. Even though it's like a 4-poster and it's got a complete roof. As long as as long as it's not 10 tfachim high. Brisa says, if you sleep under a canopy, you're not yotzei. The one that you're not yotze was higher than 10, like he said. If you sleep under your bed in a sukkah, you're also not chayiv. You're not. You didn't yotze din sukkah. So, it's the same din. We're talking about a bed that is more than 10 tfachim off the ground. Toshma, Oshapir Sagabi Kinofos Psula. If you had a 2-poster and you spread a sheet over the 2-poster, it's still puzzle. Why would that be? There are cases also, it's 10 tvachim high. The Gemara says, that's not the way the Brisa reads it, the Tanya. Naklitin Shnaim. What's the difference between kinefos and naklitin? Naklitin is 2 posts. Kinefos is 4 posts. Pierce agabi kinefos. You spread it out on the four posts, so it's like a square psula. Agabi naklitin, if you put on the 2 posts, ksheru vachli naklitin gvoim namit asara. As long as the posts are not 10 tfachim high. Mechlal, we're going to deduce from that the kinoifas al pishem gvoim asara. So that means if you have a 4-poster and you spread something there, it would be possible even if it was less than 10. So the Gemara says, shiny kinoifas tikvi. Kinoifas, the 4 posters, are permanently left there. The 2 posters are not. Now a sukkah on top of another sukkah which is something that is kavua. And Shmuel was one who said it has to be at least 10 tvachim to be puzzle. Amri hasam l'misal sukkah basara. Fine. To puzzle the sukkah, the space between the upstairs and the downstairs sukkah has to be 10. Hachi and the shavi oil. Here we're trying to establish what's considered an oil or not. If it's kavua, batzar masar nami avi oila. If it's something that's fixed in place, even if it was less than tvachim, it would have the status of an oil. Well, this discussion of whether something that you're sleeping under has a din of an oil has other ramifications. Amrav tachlifa baravim or Shmuel. Hayoshin bakila aru. Let's say you're not wearing any clothes and you're underneath this canopy. Motzi rosho chutz lakila. If he sticks his head outside of the canopy, v'kora Kriya Shema, he can read Kriya Shema even though he's not wearing any clothes, because it's as if because the kila is not considered a bias. It's considered like a beged, like it's covering him. There's another price that says if you're in one of these canopies, you should not stick your head up because you and your body, which is naked, is in the same dimension, and you're not allowed to do that and read Kriya Shema. So why in one case can you do it, the other case you can't? Because if the kila is 10 tvachim high, it's like a house. Well, then it's not like a beged, and therefore your body and your head in the same dimension. That makes sense. What is this like? Somebody who stands naked in his house shouldn't stick his head out of the window and read Krishma, because it's not the house doesn't have a status of a beged, it has the status of a house.
Hold on.
Shmamino.